How to start training your mind. That's what you want to know? So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So you're struggling with focus, your mind's constantly wandering to think about booty cheeks because of all the sexualized media you're intaking. You have constant negative thoughts, many limiting beliefs saying you're unworthy, not good enough, no one cares about you. Whenever you try to implement some positive thinking, it just doesn't work. Everything goes haywire. It's just too difficult and you just go slip back into the darkness. Whenever you get tempted, you just fall right into it. There's no fight, no resistance. You can get no semblance of peace. Your mind's constantly on 2 times speed and you just don't know what to do. Well, you were just like my past self. So let me give you a hand. Look, to train your mind, we can't just jump straight into the thought processes because you're just not strong enough yet. You've done it in the past, but your focus, your attention span is just too low. And that's okay, because to start training your mind, the first thing we need to do is improve your baseline. Because why would you go into battle when you're unprepared and you're weak? You'd train first, wouldn't you? You'd learn to fight. You'd ride your horse. You wouldn't just be scratching your bum for weeks and then just run into battle. You get killed. Probably end up looking at a tree or something like Absalom. Look, this is your mind's level right now. It's pretty low. But don't worry, we can raise this baseline to the max we can get it. And then at that point, we can do other mental techniques now because we're strong enough, right? So we can further increase our mind's level. So how do we start training our mind? We increase that baseline. We can do this by implementing certain habits and lifestyle changes. Some key ones include reducing your social media intake. You've probably heard it before, but this is so important. Try to reduce it until you don't use it anymore. At the very least, stop watching TikToks and Instagram Reels because it just wastes so much time, all right? Also, you want to start meditating. I've made a whole video, many videos on this actually, and it's just the benefits are absolutely insane. I could not recommend it more. You also want to start reducing the instant gratification activities in your life. That means less movies, less shows, cut out porn, cut out masturbation. It's just not going to be good for you. Less gaming, and also try to reduce the amount of junk food that you eat. We know how the diet is correlated with our mind's capabilities. Some other things you want to do is to start reading books. Man, learning is so important. And you can also start using long form content learning, which is like podcasts, because those are better than some of the fast, quick videos that you can find on YouTube. And as well, the last thing you want to do is, of course, spiritual disciplines. Spiritual disciplines are absolutely essential in renewing your mind, because you can remove your bad habits, right? But you want to put something really, really good into it. What better way than for spiritual disciplines? So you want to do the personal ones, like reading your Bible, prayer, meditation on the word, worship, silence and solitude. But you also want to do some of the community ones, right? Serving and spending fellowship time with your Christian friends. But I get it, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't get that feral beast to drink. I gave you a bunch of different things, and you're probably freaking out, how am I supposed to implement all those things? Don't worry, the key here is not to implement all of them all at once. The key here is just to do one at a time, or maybe just 2 at a time, right? When I started my journey, I would just work out and meditate for 2 minutes. That's it. I wasn't even consistent with it. But over time, my habits built up. I remember just reading one verse in the Bible and praying for 1 sentence each day. That was it, but that's all I could handle. But over time, my discipline would build. My mind's level was increasing. I stopped scrolling on Instagram for hours each day, and now I don't even watch any YouTube videos. My media intake is literally 0. What I find fun is reading a book now, you know what I mean? Whenever I slip back into using a bunch of media for a day, I feel the difference. It's night and day, especially when I don't meditate. So the point is that this works, and you just have to start small. Small steps can create big change. So right now, I want you to pause this video, get out a paper, get out a pencil. I recommend also washing those filthy hands of yours. But I want you to take some time to think and write down 2 things. 2 small things that you can implement today to start training your mind. You know what? I'm gonna do this with you. So don't pause the video. We're gonna write down 2 things that you can do. It doesn't have to be big, all right? Actually get out a paper and pencil and actually do this with me. Alright, so I just finished mine. Hopefully you got yours. If you need more time, definitely take some time. But this is mine. I wrote really quickly, so my handwriting is a bit freakish. But I wrote, spend time in nature for 10 minutes because we know how nature is super beneficial for our mental health. If you want to know more about that, check out some studies on Shinrin Yoku. But the second thing I wrote was meditate for 10 minutes and use the one breath technique to do so. And we can talk about that in the future, but those are my 2 things. This will really take no time at all. And 10 minutes is actually quite a bit of time. If you're starting off, reduce it to like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you know what I mean? So don't go too crazy with it. But just remember, we're doing this because we're training our mind, right? And I remember in the past how I told you how your mental health is connected to your spiritual health. So this is really important. It should be prioritized. So the point of this video is to increase the baseline of your mind's level by gradually implementing small habits and lifestyle changes into your life. And if you've already done these things, or maybe you're on your way to doing them, you're gonna be creating a very strong foundation. And I'm very excited to share with you some other ways, some other mental techniques and strategies to go deep into your brain and control some of your thoughts. We'll be tackling things like anger, pride, limiting beliefs. But before we end off this video, I want to share with you one last habit. And this may be the most important one of them all. And no, it's not feeding your horse. You should be doing that already without your parents asking you. But we're gonna be here to talk about journaling. Journaling is so essential, and I recommend it to everyone because of how much value it provides. You might think it's just for kids, or maybe you've grown up thinking it's just for girls, but destroy those old beliefs. Because if you're not journaling, man, you're missing out severely. I made a whole video on how I journal. It goes way more in depth than this video, but pretty much you want to set up a habit tracker, and then you're going to write down all your thoughts, the ones that are very key that you have week to week. And basically what this does is allows you to track your progress. This is very, very important, because if you're not progressing, then you can quickly go to your journal and figure out why, and then quickly correct course. And maybe if you are progressing well, you can figure out what's causing this, and then you can repeat the process. This journal is one of the most important, the most valuable things I own, and I think you'll think the same after 6 months of journaling yourself. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed and learned a thing or two. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But if you want some more advice on how to meditate, I made a whole guide right here. And if you've meditated before, you're just starting with the focus part of it, check out this video. I think this new technique will help you focus and be very effective for you. But that's it for me. Just remember, if anyone that knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. So please, kill the flesh.